Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us, and that helps the bands and artists like Alana. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Miss Alana Hil today. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. I'm actually had a really nice rainy day in LA. So cozy.
How long have we been in LA, and what part of LA are we calling home now?
Beechwood Canyon in Hollywood is
Okay.
home. Been in LA since 2021.
And what's the best thing about it, and what's the worst thing about it living there?
Best thing about it is how much it inspires me in my art. So I always say I'm here to work. I'm actually a nature person, and that's the final goal for me. But I just can't get the inspiration like I can here from people at this time in my life. So that's the best thing. Worst thing is that I miss nature, like real nature,
Yeah.
like not parking to go to nature.
Did you have to deal with any of the fires that have happened since you've lived there, or you've been okay?
Yeah, we were evacuated last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We were fortunate enough to just get out there ourselves. We did a cruise out of Long Beach, but we had about 28 hours in Los Angeles. So we did Redondo, Hermosa, Manhattan, all super impressed that they kind of each had their own like kind of feel to them.
Yeah.
We went down south to like Rancho Palos Verdes. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Went down to the lighthouse, went down that way, like just beautiful, breathtaking.
Cool. Where
Yeah.
do you live?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're about an hour and a half west of Philly, hour and a half north of Baltimore, and about a 2.5 hours from New York City. So we're
Okay.
in a good spot.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's great for airports. A
Yeah.
lot of airport selection.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when did you at what like point age wise did you say to yourself, you know what, I could do this singing thing?
Well, it's interesting. I sang my whole life, basically, but my mom, when I was 7, my mom said I started to really take interest in it, and it was a little bit annoying, but I wouldn't stop. Like it was a little pitchy, and she was like, "Well, I think I'm going to get her some lessons because she's not going to stop." So I started training with a vocal coach when I was 7, and then I always loved to sing, and but I was very shy. So I had really bad stage fright and I would get so nervous that it would be really bad. Like I could one time I sang the national anthem at a basketball game and I stopped right before the big part and I said, I can't do this. I was like maybe 10, 9. And so I kind of carried that with me for a long time. Um, And then I went to school for music business and I was like, oh, I love music so much. But I actually always had this feeling when I was in high school that I was going to be an artist. And I was an artist, but I just was a little shy. So anyway, my high school choir teacher told me I was really bad at school. Like I never showed up and I don't know, I was just kind of a bad kid. Like didn't really have the best parental supervision.
Sure.
Anyway, I missed a lot of school, but right before I graduated, he pulled me aside and he was like, "Hey, you're really gifted, and I really want you to pursue your gift." And so he helped me get into MTSU, which is like a music school, and I again was super shy, so I was like, "Well, I'm just going to work behind the scenes." And then I was in Nashville for a while, and then I started getting like bored. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to see the world. So I started traveling. And to be very transparent with you, along the way, I started getting very psychedelic. So I started tripping a lot.
Yeah.
and going to a lot of music festivals. I was became a Grateful Dead fan. I would travel all over the country. I got some dreadlocks. I was like taking acid and MDMA and all sorts of stuff. And through those experiences, I actually gained confidence. It's so weird. My brain rewired and I was like, had some super spiritual experiences where it made me less afraid. And I would just sing. And then I was like, oh, well, that's it. But long story short, after in my travels, I was growing marijuana up in Northern California, and I was going through a really bad breakup. And I played Paul Simon Graceland album on repeat for 1 month, like didn't stop. And it helped me heal. And I realized, like, wow, music is really powerful. And I want to do that for people. Like, I want to be that Paul Simon album for somebody. So that's when I knew for sure. And that's when I was like, I'm doing it.
Did that change your perspective not only about like the album as a format, or was it just the music itself?
I think it changed my perspective about the album as a format. But it's weird. Yeah, I guess because I already had that perspective about music because I had been a deadhead and I had already felt like the spiritualness of it. And I was like, wow, that Jerry Garcia, the whole thing like really took me to a place. And then when I started honing in more on like albums and I heard Paul Simon and then I heard the story behind that where he went to South Africa and like kind of tied the knot between my like traveling and everything and I was like, wow, that's yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess album. Yeah.
I got to go to Woodstock 99, and so I got to experience a lot what you talked about.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think it changes your perspective, like from a worldview as well as like I think with people that you're close to, like how you like I don't know, like just I just felt like I treated people differently after I had those experiences. Is that fair to say that you had that kind of same experience?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It opens your heart. And now I love there's like maps, like psychedelic studies, and they're implementing a lot of that into the mental health world. So I think that's really cool because it actually does work in some capacity, helping you heal.
Yeah. The stigma that has been associated with all of this has been so unright and so unjust. You know, the whole, green disease, in the 30s for marijuana, like, reefer
Yeah.
madness and all this stuff. It was just so dumb. Like, it just so dumb.
Yeah.
And it really set, I
That's
think, us back as a civilization because, like, if we would have had this attitude like 60, 70 years ago about drugs and like about their, like, to really like look at the benefits of them, like, look, who knows where we would be as a civilization,
yeah, it's
Kind of
true.
crazy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about albums. Your debut album, it was called Me. Why did we call it Me?
Well, it was actually an acronym for My Expression.
Hell yeah.
And that was my first album, and I did it with Prince Board. And I was a little younger then, mentally, and I was so new to like really being in the professional artist side of things.
So how many songs did you go in to the studio and then like how obviously we ended up with 14, but yeah, how many did we go into with the studio?
We did 40 songs total. And because of his Black Eyed Peas background, he was like, we should do like at least 40 and then figure out which ones we like best. And I just felt let him lead the charge on that. And it was really a really good learning experience for me because I got in with different writers. I got to feel what that felt like to collaborate.
Yeah.
And I'm a very strong, hard-headed person. And I don't actually love, I'm like an only child basically, and I don't actually love collaborating a lot of times. So it helped me like see not everybody's for me. But yeah, it was cool.
Did you feel like a connection with a certain songwriter amongst the group, or did you like was it more of a group effort like overall?
Yeah, definitely. I have a connection with this one songwriter. Her name's Sam Seasoned. I work with her a lot still.
Okay.
She just helps me. I studied poetry and literature, so I tend to go off the deep end when it comes to being super poetic to where, maybe in mainstream, my mom would always say before, she's like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't get this. Whereas now she'll be like, "Oh my God, I love these lyrics." And a lot of people would say that. They're like, "I don't understand," because it's so abstract, but she really helps me take that and put it in more of a still poetic but digestible form.
Yeah. Do you think you would have like met her if it wouldn't have been if it wouldn't have been because of the music business?
No, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
met her through another producer. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, wow. So obviously you put out this EP, what, 10 days ago?
Yeah.
When I say that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
It's crazy. You know how it works. You do a project and then you have to wait. It's a rollout, like takes forever. It's been done for a while and now I mean, every artist goes through this. You're like, wow, yeah, I want to like keep going with this, but it's like, wow, it's been done for a long time. But it feels really good to get it out and into the world, and I'm really proud of it. I think it's such a nice foundation for where I'm going and who I am. It was like, all right, there's the brick. So I feel very strongly about this project.
Yeah. I think I told Kelly this as well, like in our emails back and forth, but like your similarity in sound to Adele is
Oh,
just mind-blowing to me. Like I'm sure you've heard that before, but like it to me, like, and especially on Love and Mental Breakdowns, like it is uncanny, like
oh,
the
whoa.
similarities. So kudos to you because, obviously to be compared to Adele is a huge compliment. And I mean, you got it, girl. Like, yeah. I mean, talk about that song in particular, Love and Mental Breakdowns.
Love and Mental Breakdowns, I wrote after having an altercation with my boyfriend. And I was actually really pissed off. And it's funny when I get mad, I will sing and like play really aggressively. And that's what I did. I just had my guitar and I was like, I literally is like, if you want to go there, we can go. You can take your shot. I'll talk my shit, say I'm the best you've got. And it was just like came out so easy. I think I wrote it in 10 minutes. It was just like boom. And that
Very
kind of
Paul Simon-esque.
inspired. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Do, do you typically then write your songs on guitar or do you ever write them on piano?
Piano as well.
Piano as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you write differently lyrically when you play each instrument, or do you feel like you kind of stick with the same kind of processes, I guess?
I find it more difficult to write on piano.
Okay.
Because the tone of it inspires something theatrical in me. And I
Like
tend to
Meatloaf.
write, it's so weird. I'll write something on my phone and it will never end up that way on the record. Like if whatever I'm playing, the concept will be there and we'll be like, huh, it's a little Broadway. We can make it work though, like, but on my guitar, it always comes out like really soulful and like more country.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you typically then write lyrics first and then music, or are you music first and then lyrics?
music first,
Music
then
first.
lyrics follow. Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried to do it the other way, or it just never
Yeah,
works out that way?
I've tried it. I've tried it in a couple times. Because if you look at like Shakespeare, like iambic pentam
Pentameter.
iambic, yep, pentameter. You get it.
Yeah.
Um, if you write in syllables like that, then it can typically work out the
Yeah.
math of it if
Yeah.
you so I try that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know we've done the music video for In Between. Are we planning on doing any other videos for the songs for this EP?
Yes. So we are releasing a string quartet version of all the songs, and it's called High Strung. And I just shot a video with it for it 2 days ago. And it's really cool. The whole quartet is there, and I'm wearing this insane wig that looks like it's a beehive from the 1960s. And, it looks like all the greats, like Jackie Kennedy and everyone who wore those crazy beehives. And I have a jersey on that says Kentucky. So I just was like feeling really cool about that.
Yeah, showcasing your roots, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, let's talk about like growing up in Kentucky, like how that influenced your like what you listened to, and then obviously like your style that you obviously, sing now.
Yeah. So first thing was my granddad loved bluegrass. So whenever I was in his truck, we were listening to bluegrass. And I still love bluegrass. Um, that was one thing that I loved about Nashville. You could just go in and see somebody playing. You're like, wow, for free. Um, the Pickers. Um, yeah, so I grew up on bluegrass, and then I also really liked, we had MTV. That was a big thing. So I would always watch like VH1 or MTV and see like the music videos and um millennial. Here I am. But then my in country music was a big part. So when I would compete and sing back then, I would sing country music. And I liked like the big singers like Martina McBride and like all those cats. And then my mom got engaged to a preacher from African Methodist Episcopal Church. So it was like black gospel music, and that changed my sound a lot because I started hearing more soulful singing. I listened to a lot of Lauryn Hill, and I think that maybe that it's interesting. I've been studying this because I get Adele a lot or Amy Winehouse, right? And I'm like, well, I didn't grow up listening to them. So I'm like, where is the similarity coming from? They went to, and I had to research, I'm a big researcher. They went to the Brit school, and in the Brit school, they teach a lot of like El, Etta James and
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin and all these cats that I listened to. So that's why we all have like a similar sound because that's what I listened to because my stepdad played that all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I wonder, so when did you do you still kind of have your like ear to the street like with country music, or are you kind of out of the loop with like what's coming out nowadays?
You know, Chris Stapleton is about it, and he's a Kentucky boy. Tyler Childers also Kentucky. I like a lot of music that is very stripped back and rootsy. I don't love pop country, never have, not my thing. Maybe when I was little. Um, I mean, it's its own vibe, and I'm not hating on it. It's just not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still love country music in some regard, rootsy country. Yeah.
Do you know the song Strawberry Wine by Deanna Carter?
I sang that song in my eighth grade talent show. Strawberry wine. Yep.
I think you should cover that song, but like in a soulful sort of like almost like Aretha or like Erica Badu kind of doing it. Like
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking awesome.
That would be really cool, actually. I never thought about that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
people love that song, and like that is one of one hit wonder sort of. She didn't really do much after that, right? I
Yeah, I
mean,
know. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
not to
cool.
tell you what to do.
No, I love ideas. I love cover ideas, especially.
So again, we talked about this before we started, but the song really on this EP that really connects with me is this song "In Between." I want to know the story behind it, and tell the audience and tell your fans. Yeah.
So I was driving down the road one day and I was thinking, I was in a hurry, and I hate driving when I'm in a hurry because I get really bad anxiety. I was like, what? What am I even doing? I'm going to get to the place where I'm going, and then I'm going to have to hurry to go somewhere else, and then I have to go somewhere else. And I was like, so I'm never really arriving anywhere. I'm always going somewhere. And then I started thinking about that's how life is in general, like our emotions, because I have borderline personality disorder. I observe my emotions. I'll be so angry and then I'll be like so involved in it. And then 5 seconds later, I'll be like laughing. And so it's never there. It's always for a second. And then, so I was like, we live in between most of the time. We're always coming and going, the ebb and flow, right? So, yeah, that's what really inspired that track. It's like I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah. You're the gray and the black and white, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am the gray area.
Yeah, exactly. And then the music video that comes with it, that dance troupe. Talk about them. Like, where did we find them? Let's give them some love and like the direction of the video. Like, where did that inspiration come from?
So I met this choreographer, creative guy through I love college kids because they're so creative and hungry and driven. So I always go there, which I'm about to revisit soon. Well, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I always go and ask for like people who are interested in things. So I went to USC, one of a student from USC, and asked her to help me find somebody that would want to collaborate. And she found this guy, Jojo, and he was like, we should make something for this song. And he picked that song of all of them to create. So he put together a team of people and we had a meeting and I told them who I was and showed them like my stuff that I'd already been doing on my own, like my clothing and everything. And so from there, they made a pitch and basically they put together this really cool concept of like being in between worlds. And I told them like my favorite uh, cinematog or not cinematographers, directors, or Alejandro Hordowaski, it's hard to say, and like David Lynch and people like this. So very surreal, stunning, striking vocals. So they took that and they helped me put together this piece.
Yeah, that white dress that you're wearing,
Hmm.
on when you stand on the table. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty stunning. Like
Oh,
it
cool.
really makes a statement. I'm assuming that was, the thought behind it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's good. It's a good segue because it seems like fashion is a huge part of your life, obviously outside of the business as well as in the business. How is that though, intertwined with the music itself then for you?
Yeah. Fashion is a big thing for me. Quick story. Everyone's gonna think I'm a drug addict. I'm not. I don't actually do anything anymore. But when I was younger, I was in college and I smoked a joint by myself and I was sitting in my room and I looked in my closet. I just looked at it and I was so high and I was like, wow, those are the chosen ones. Like the chosen articles from all of the things that I could have. And it just put this whole different perspective about what I was wearing. Because it's true. Like we have these pieces that we use to express ourselves, if you think about it that way. But when I think about clothing or fashion in music, it is telling a story. And visually, I think it really matters to me, like the patterns and the colors and everything, because it's all a frequency. Like for instance, like I like this is a silk jacket. I like silk versus like a polyester jacket. It's like just a different frequency and like the texture and the way the light hits it and the color and so and
Mhm.
then music is a frequency. So it kind of comes together.
Yeah. And you're obviously a hat wearer. You like hats. A lot of
Yeah.
women, that's kind of a very divisive, like, accessory. Like, why are hats such a big part of your style?
Because I'm super influenced by like Janet Jackson and like just the oh man, Grace Jones and just like this Hollywood stars from, back then and I really I don't know. I love putting a hat on and making it tie in. Oh, and Boy George, of course. Boy George, tell you what, he really inspired me to wear hats.
That's so cool. What's your
Yeah.
favorite album of his, if you have
Um,
one?
I mean, what's funny is that I don't actually know his albums because I only listened to I didn't know that I just recently discovered that like a month ago that he had his own thing.
Yeah,
So I'm getting into that, but
that's a rabbit hole for you.
that's a rat. No, I know it's a rabbit hole.
So living in Hollywood or living near there, how often are you running into, movie stars, celebrities, all that stuff, or is it pretty rare? Like, give people who don't live in California a taste of what it's like living daily, in Hollywood.
Well, doing what I do, it's not rare because I'm in a lot of situations where I'm maybe writing with people or um, going to a party with a client, like people I write work with, or and my boyfriend started the Black Eyed Peas, so I mean, naturally, that's going to be, I mean, I hung out with Fergie not that long ago, so it's around, but it's not a big deal. At first, I was like, what? And then now I'm like, these people are just people
Yeah.
and they are not perfect. They're just like humans. They'll just be like, what's up, So,
That's so funny. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, like they were, in the early 2000s, like they were, at the top of the world. Like, how did he deal with all of that? Like, does he talk about that with you? Like, those heydays where, like, they were, selling out stadiums and just on top of the world.
yeah, he talks about it. He is such a weirdo. I don't understand the way his brain works. He's not very affected by anything. He's like, oh, yeah, like, we did this and that and it was cool, but I'll be like, wow, that's insane. But he often talks about just the journey of actually making it because they were nothing and then they made it. So he inspires me to keep going every day because he's seen it. So I'll be like, man, I don't know, and he'll be like, nope, I know. I've been there. I know it's possible. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to keep going another day.
Yeah.
So
So I would ask then, what is the maybe the biggest thing or contribution that he has done for you for your career, I guess. Is that fair to ask?
yeah. Well, number one, he really believes in me. And I think everybody, well, first of all, you have to believe in yourself, but that's not always easy
Yeah.
because, it's hard out here for everyone and no matter what you're doing. But he really believes in me. And with that, he inspires me every day to believe in myself. So that's his biggest contribution. And then on top of that, he is an incredible musician. And when I first started working with him, he he heard me singing over a band at a club and well, not like a club, but like at a speakeasy, there was a band playing. And he was like, dang, that's pretty good. Like, are you just like making that up? And I was like, yeah. So he was like, come to the studio and I want to hear what you got. So I went, I was kind of nervous and I sang over this record in the studio. And I was like, what did you think? And he was like, well, you're kind of pitchy. It's like a 2 out of 10. Your rhythm's not the best. And then like later on, he like saw me perform and he was like, yeah, that's not very good. We're gonna have to work on that. But anyway, he basically said, but you've got so much character and you got the foundation that stuff can be worked on. So he really invested in me in the way of I have a vocal coach and I work every single day for an hour on my vocals. So they've improved so much. Like my pitch is better. Now I have a long way to go. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And then my stage presence, I've had coaches work with choreographers and different people to help me with my stage presence. So that's improved a lot. And rhythm as well, just practicing every day. And so, yeah, that's enough. But yeah.
And I mean, yeah, as a white girl, it's tough. It's tough. You got to learn how to dance, right? It's not just natural for us, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Some people do have it though. I'll see them out in LA. I'm like, okay, how did you learn? But they've been doing it since they were like 5.
It was like poop in the potty, and then let's start dancing, right?
Yep, exactly.
So, so let's talk about how Kelly and Patrice have really kind of helped your career as well. Talking about contributions to your career, talk about them and individually how each of them have kind of helped with your career.
Yeah, well, they're my first PR team that I've ever had. And so it's been really cool to work with them. Patrice came on a little later because I met Kelly and then Patrice came on, and I mean they go hand in hand really, but it's cool to see Patrice. um she's so like, I I don't actually know the whole dynamic of how the company works. I don't work there, but she seems like she's really like a go-getter. So I feel like her and Kelly are really good together.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Kelly's a go-getter, but I think, Patrice is like her underdog. I don't know what their dynamic is, but like her right-hand man, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just been really cool to see all the opportunities that have come from working with them. Yeah, you need a team.
So I guess if I would have asked you on January 1st this year, you know, do you have an accomplishment that you'd like to do this year other than maybe the album? And now that it's November 17th, do you feel like you accomplished everything that you wanted to do this year?
Not everything,
Okay.
but I have to be grateful for what I did accomplish, and I have to be patient. So, yeah.
And is the patience just from a missed opportunity, or is it just an opportunity that's you're waiting for, or can you dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So it's the number game, right? It takes some virility, they say. I'm doing everything I can on my end. I'm making the art and the visuals and the music, but it takes time for, I guess, the algorithm. It's now I just have to wait for the algorithm to show it to my fans that already are out there, because there's somebody out there for everyone, every artist. You just have to get in front of those people. So you have to do it enough. And I really was hoping this year that my numbers would increase a lot. But I just got to be patient.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that because, for you and I mean, it's a necessary evil, doing social media, trying to do it every day, trying to, like you said, mess with the algorithm to get it in favor of you. How much of that is a struggle? How much of it do you enjoy? Talk about that side of it.
Okay. Well, we have a team now that posts for me because it really does affect my mental health getting on there. So I have like very short time limits a day that I can look at anything, and I try not to read the comments because people have been really mean to me. Um, but I'm getting more used to speaking and being myself on social media, which I think people will respond to more actually than my actual art. But the thing that I enjoy most is creating those visuals. I love it. It's my passion. So that makes me happy.
Yeah. They are cool. I was going through your IG and yeah, they are um they're unique and like striking. I think that's a good way to describe them. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they're very me. I put them together and I like them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's important to like what we do, right?
Yeah, it is. Other people will sometimes be like, that's interesting. Or, some people will comment and be like, you had me until the creepy people in the back, or, something like that. But there's a reason, my own reasons for doing those things, and they're metaphorical. So,
So tell your fans and tell our audience, is there a hobby or something that you do that might like that's either unique or maybe off the wall or kind of like maybe a little kooky or anything like that?
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a certified yoga teacher, and I learned in India, or I got my certification in India.
Okay.
But I'm a skier.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those are kind of random things, but I like to move my body.
Where do you like to go skiing then? I mean, in California then, or are you usually traveling?
I actually lived in Aspen for on and off for 5 years. And so I'm a big Colorado gal when it comes to skiing. And I like the snowpack a little better. It's just not as wet and slippery.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But California is cool. I got a concussion in California now when I was skiing because it's so slippery, because it's a
Oh,
little wet.
Yeah,
And
we don't
I
want
just didn't
that.
have my helmet on all the way. Oops. Guard sail flew off.
We did yeah, we flew out to Denver the January before the pandemic. And so we went to Winter Park and then we went to Loveland
Mm,
and both just fantastic. And it was cool being up at like what 16,000 feet.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a different world out there. Very brown though, very brown.
Yeah, it is high
Brown.
alpine desert. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I guess then let's talk about, touring in general and then specifically this tour this summer that you got to do with Macy Gray. But, is touring something that you enjoy? Is it something that you is it just kind of it's the nature of the beast, or what's your attitude on touring?
So I haven't done a full tour. I'll do like small runs,
Yep.
and that's what I did this past time. But I love to tour and I love to travel. And so I'm about to go on my first full tour at the beginning of this year in Europe. So I think that's going to be like 2 months long, and I'm really excited for that one. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay.
hmm
Name some cities that we're playing.
Berlin. Um, I'm not exactly sure the places, and we're going to be in Italy, small towns, Germany, small towns, and I'm going to be in London. I think I'm going to be doing London with Macy Gray, actually. And then where else are we going? Spain. So it'll be cool.
So this will be the first time that you've done like an extensive tour like this then,
Yep.
as
First
a
time.
music. Wow.
hmm
So, I mean, anxiety level, where are we at? Like 1 to 10?
Mm, man, I'm not that anxious about it. I'm more excited, which
Okay.
is rare for me because I get anxious about everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing the shutdown's over at least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Are you big crew then? Like, are you taking full band? Is it just going to be you? Like, what's the crew going to be like that goes over?
So I'm going out with the Butterfunk family, which is Prince's funk band. And then so that'll be good for me because I will get to use them to open for my own stuff. And that's the band I play with a lot of times anyway, most of them. I do a smaller bit when it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have drums, bass, and guitar, whereas Butterfunk is like a full funk production.
That's so exciting. So
Yeah.
how do you feel like the songs are going to translate then with them playing?
Um, well, I sit in with them. I play with them. I'll do like 5 songs every show.
Okay.
And that's like more it's funky, soulful stuff. And then there's my stuff. So, but the guys are so professional. They play with everyone, so they know how to play different genres.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So any other music or any other tour dates that you can talk about then other than the Europe tour then?
Um, was supposed to go to your area actually with Macy this fall, but they rescheduled it to the spring. So I'll be out there this spring.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
not
have
sure
to
if
look
it's
you
like
up.
to be determined dates, but it's coming up.
Okay, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to come see you.
Yeah.
Little closer than going to California to see you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I mean, you just had a headline show, what, Saturday, right?
hmm
At the Black Rabbit Rose. Now, I don't, are you watching Black Rabbit on Netflix?
No, I haven't. Did I see that? Oh, I did see that. I actually
Oh,
did. That's a really good show.
oh my gosh. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I liked that one.
Yeah, but this is called the Black Rabbit Rose. So talk about that. Talk about the evening. Talk about the set list. Like, talk about the crowd reaction.
Black Rabbit Rose is like a speakeasy vibe, but it's one of the only places in town where up and coming artists can play their original music without it being like a So Far Sounds or um, unless you're playing like a big show. So this is more like 100 people or so. Um, I mean, there's still venues, but I'm just saying this one's easy because it's free of charge for everyone. It's a good place to have a release show. And then It was so good. I had the best time ever. I was really nervous and I prepared for 2 weeks mentally because it was such a big moment for me. And usually I don't invite everyone to my shows, like texting and stuff, but I did this time. It took a lot of time and effort. And the turnout was really beautiful, and a lot of my friends came to support me. But it was cool to play my new EP, and I would have the crowd participation, and I would say sing. And especially on Love and Mental Breakdowns at the end, every single person sang Love and Mental Breakdowns at the very end, just the people. It was really cool.
Yeah. Those collective moments when a crowd sings like that is just it's you can't put a price tag on it. Like and when you get a chance to experience it, and I can only imagine as a singer experiencing that, like that they're singing, to you your own music, like right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Something special, right?
Yeah.
That's why we do it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, so touring with Macy Gray, like, is there a specific story or maybe like a conversation that you had with her that you can share, that really was kind of inspiring to you?
Yeah, after the show, the I was standing on the dance floor after a show, and then her assistant, I guess, was like, "Macy requests you in the green room." So I like started running up the stairs because I hadn't met her yet. And the band was like, "Be cool. What are you doing? Like, why are you running?" And I was like, "I want to meet her, you know?" But they're like, "Just be cool." So anyway, I went in and she was like, I heard she has a very distinct voice. She's like, "I heard the show was really good." I don't want to like mimic her, but like it's
Yeah.
very, yeah, it's unique. And I guess she said the band was raving about the show, which was really nice to hear. Um, and I basically talked to her about I didn't really get too crazy deep. Just she's just a chiller, you know. She was like taking off her eyelashes and she's just chilling. But I did talk to her about building a show with playback, which I thought was really interesting because when you start playing in certain places, it's really good to have that fuller sound sometimes. And she was like, "Yeah, I use playback. Not the vocal, she sings live, but just having little elements that you can play underneath the live element."
Yeah. It's building that wall of sound, kind of,
It-
right?
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you get in venues that have a really good sound and you want to fill up the room, make it like boom. So we talked about that a lot.
Yeah. It hits differently, and the technology that's out there now, it's relatively easy to do. I mean, you kind of there's a lot of DIY kind of out there
Yeah.
that, it's pretty crazy, really. So, you kind of touched on the borderline personality disorder, but, let's kind of dive into a little bit more of that because, you know, I'm not too familiar with it. I don't know anybody that has it, so, I'm ignorant to it. So give me kind of like the lowdown to it.
Okay. So I've had this, it's kind of trauma based, but it also can be genetic. And I think that it's hard for me sometimes to talk because my parents, I don't want to say too much about stuff, but my mom has some similar issues, I would say, with mental health. And so I didn't really know what was going on with me, but I knew from a young age that I felt very like up and down, like mentally, like whereas other people I noticed around me didn't experience that. Um, Kind of like really mad, really happy, really sad, up and down. And then there were some other things with like OCD and stuff. And uh, but mostly BPD is your inability to separate like logic from emotion. And so irrational, your rational brain. So I would just get really overwhelmed quickly and I wouldn't be able to be like, well, this is not a big deal. It would just be like super panic mode or, anxious. But yeah, I started realizing when I started dating properly, like men, it really comes out there because they're so close to me. So it's like can be very aggressive, like super. And like Alex Gray, I don't know if you know, it's like an artist, but he talks a lot about how our partners are our mirrors, cosmic mirrors. So they teach us about ourselves. So that was actually like a big informant of mine, was to know that I act a certain way with people, that isn't really self-destructive and harmful to other people. And I didn't realize that. But anyway, so I'm a very natural person. I tried to go to India and I studied yoga and I was like living in a teepee and I tried all these natural things for years and nothing really seemed to help. I was still having a lot of mental stuff. So I finally went to a psychiatrist and I was diagnosed and I've been working on it for 2 years now. So trying to, because you have to, it's a combination, the treatment is a combination of medication and really intensive therapy, DBT therapy and EMDR, which is like desensitization to trauma.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. But
That's
I have one good thing to say about it really quick is
yeah.
that it's actually really helpful to people if you're creative. Because I feel so deeply. And
Makes
then,
sense. Yeah.
so
Makes sense.
yeah.
Now, did this ever get you in trouble with like the law, like, or no?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Like just reckless behavior is a part of it.
Okay.
So not like robbing people at gunpoint, but just
Right.
like maybe driving drunk or, just fighting people.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I guess did it heighten then like during your teenage years? Did you feel like it more during that or like was there a time in your life where you really felt like it was like at its worst or is it just kind of been like I don't know, like gradual this whole time?
Yeah, I would say it was gradual. Like when my parents divorced, I think that's when it really set in. So in eighth grade, I just remember that things got really, really, really bad mentally. Suicidal ideation. My mom checked me into a hospital, and then somehow this girl in my school found out and like told everyone that I was mentally whatever, and it embarrassed me really bad, which sent me even more into a spiral and things just kept happening that were traumatic. And
Yeah.
I didn't, especially back then, like when you're young and you don't really understand mental stuff. And now it's so much like talked about, and everyone's like, oh, I have this or I have that. But no one knew anything about that. I sound like I'm like from the 1940s. It wasn't actually that long ago, but it's really been in the last like 5 years, I feel, where people are really talking about it more.
Yeah, well, it seems like yeah, I mean, because the smartphone came out in what 2008, and I think like they seem like that seems to be like the defining moment where all this shit started happening to young girls, and
Yeah.
just yeah, it's pretty brutal. And I don't see it stopping,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So music wise, like set lists. I want to talk about set lists. Is that something that's important to you? And now that you have this EP, now you have, obviously five more songs that you can play with the set list. How much importance is the set list to you?
Very important. So I have a 15-minute set, I have a 30-minute set, and I have an hour set, and I have an hour 30 set. And I got those in my pocket with dance moves and everything. But yeah, I like the arc of a show and the storytelling of it.
Yeah.
So that's super important to me.
So an hour long show, how many costume changes?
Oh, none yet.
Okay.
None yet until I get the big, big stage
Yeah.
where I can get a dancer or two out there while I go change.
Yeah.
But then maybe four or five. I mean, we'll have to see.
Mm. Mm. No stopping, right? So, did you have a chance to take any vacation this year, or was it all work and no play this year?
I did go to Oaxaca for my birthday. So
Okay.
that was super cool. I've always wanted to go there. I love mezcal. And I went and had a bunch of it. So that was really fun.
Nice.
And Oaxaca's so rich in culture.
That's Southwest or
South, is it Southeast
South?
Mexico?
Okay.
I think southeast. I have to look
Southeast.
on the map, but I'm pretty sure southeast.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's one region I've not been to. We were just, like I said, we were in Baja. We've been to, Yucatan, most of Yucatan, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I want to go to Mexico City. I've heard great things about Mexico City. Have you ever been to Mexico City, or do you know anybody that's gone?
Yes, I have. I have performed there, and
Oh,
I actually recorded a song down there
uh,
with a Mexico City artist. So that was cool.
not well. Yeah, like tell me more. Like, yeah, what was your experience like in Mexico City?
Well, I went to a party and this guy was playing the guitar, so I sang with him and then he was like, "Let's go to the studio before you leave." So I did, and it was really interesting. Because no, a lot of people don't speak English, you know. A lot of people do, but some people don't. So it was interesting trying to communicate. And I'm working on speaking Spanish, but it's not very good yet. So it was a little hard in that way. But man, I love Mexico City. It's really cool.
Yeah, it wasn't overwhelming because there's a lot of people there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, but it wasn't. I mean, I used to live in India, so that's crazy. Bali, all those places, they're really, really packed. See a scooter with like six people on one scooter and a dog and a baby.
That's crazy. Yeah. Was the pollution as bad as it was when you were there, or is it just so bad now?
Where in Mexico City
No,
or
in India.
in India? Oh, it was bad. Yeah, because they burn their trash and there's a lot of plastic burning all around you. It burns your eyes. And I had to ride a motorbike, so you're riding and you have to like cover your face and you'll wipe your face off. It'll be completely black.
It's yeah, I mean, like obviously as Americans, we are so lucky to have the situation that we're in, but like when you hear about that, like a country that has what, almost 2 billion people and like that's the situation they're living in, like it's just like it's hard for me to even like imagine that. Like talk about like living through like that had to have been difficult.
Yeah, it was really challenging, but also really cool. So I spent half of my time up north in Rishikesh and then Varanasi, but I got really sick when I was in Varanasi. That's the holy city. I don't know if you know anything about Varanasi, but that's where they burn the bodies of the holy men. And so I was there, and then I ate something bad or drank something, whatever, got a bacterial infection and it made me really, really sick for like a week. And then I was like, I need to go heal. So my friend surprisingly had a retreat in Goa, which is in South India. So I flew down there to go heal. And I was there for a week and I got my bearings back and was just eating really organic, healthy food. Um, and then I was like, all right, time to go travel again because I wanted to see all of India. And then, there's a lot of different like it's north and south are so different.
Correct.
It's just
Right.
completely different. Um, and what else do I have to say? There's a funny story I wanted to share about India. When I had just done my training and then I went to Mysore, which is like a random town that maybe not as many tourists would go to. And I went to yoga class because I was like, I'm just going to go to a random yoga class. And I went and I was the only white person there. And the teacher was like shocked to see me. And he, instead of like teaching the class, it ended up so weird. But he just couldn't, so he couldn't believe that a person from the US was there. And you'll see if you walk around there, they'll come and they'll be like, selfie, selfie, because they want to take a picture with you because they've never seen a person with light skin. And but anyway, the yoga class ended up being somehow everyone sitting in a circle talking to me and him translating because no one spoke English, and then me doing all of the postures and him like clapping and being like giving me like adjustments. It was so strange. But anyway, so from there, he invited me to come and speak at his big conference that he was having that night. He's like, "Oh, I'm having this conference tonight. The newspaper will be there." And like, so I went and he brought me up in front of everyone. I'm talking, there were like 100 or 200 people there at this yoga conference. And he brought me up and I had to go do postures in front of everyone. I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And then I was in the newspaper, and then I ended up speaking at a university because I was just there. Like it was so random.
They
They were
love
shocked.
you.
They were just like, "What are you doing here?" You know, they couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh, I'm just studying yoga and like learning the Indian ways."
Wow. So I would assume then you enjoy Indian food then still to this day? Like,
Oh, it's my favorite.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
my show day ritual.
yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't get, I mean, I unfortunately my girlfriend does not like Indian, so and it's funny, the first time of all cities in the world to have Indian, we were in Nashville, and that's the first time she
Oh,
had Indian.
that's funny. She didn't like it?
She didn't mind. I mean, of course, we just got her chicken tikka masala because that's the
Okay.
safest bet. And she didn't mind it, but I don't think it was her thing. But she's more of a meat and potatoes kind of girl.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
Amen. So, I'm gonna last question then for you. What is your ideal way to listen to music? Are you like in the car? Are you in your living room with good speakers? Are you, on the beach? Are you headphones? Like, what is your ideal way to listen to music?
My ideal way to listen to music is with a bourbon or a good glass of wine and a vinyl record. Just me and the music. So I'm old school in that way.
Do you remember what your first record or album was that you purchased or CD?
First one I ever purchased was Eminem, the curtain. What was the cart? What's it called? The Last Curtain or something? Or
Yeah,
the
yeah. Yeah, I think it is Last Curtain. Yeah, yeah.
and I remember
Or Final Curtain or something.
the
Yeah,
final curtain.
yeah.
And I was so young and I bought it and my dad put it on the way home and he was like, "What the?" Because it was so many. He was like, "Uh-uh."
How old were you then?
I don't even know. I mean, what
That's
year did that
hilarious.
come out? Maybe like six or something? I
Wow,
don't know.
that's
I was
so.
young.
I mean, I'm 48, so it's for me, it's so funny that like vinyl has made such a comeback because, like once CDs came out, like that was kind of like vinyl was like with 8 tracks, you were like they're all in the same like bin, and now
Yeah.
vinyl is like the one thing that's, cassettes never came back, CDs never came back, but vinyl came back and it's pretty strong. It's crazy. Have you
It's
thought about doing any of your releases on vinyl?
Yep. I'm doing so that was Diaries of a Common Woman, Volume 1, and I'm doing Volume 2 at the top of the year. So it's written and everything. We're just about to cut the whole thing.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and once that's done, I'll do the whole thing on a vinyl, both sides.
So this will be 5 songs too, then this next volume.
I think this is going to be six. Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
is there a song that you're particularly excited about of the six?
I am, oh man, I am. I'm really excited about this one song. Well, there's a couple, it's hard to choose, but there's this one that it leans into a little bit of a different genre that I never thought I would kind of dabble into, and it's really fun, and I can feel that one being like a stadium ripper.
I love it. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I love your enthusiasm about your own work. Like some artists are very like, you know, like kind of too cool for school, but like I can tell like you enjoy what you're doing and each song that you put out like you're super proud of it and that's awesome. So,
You gotta have fun. You gotta do what you love, or else what's the re point of doing it? I've thought about that. I'm like, if I am not having fun, I'm gonna go back to school and do something else.
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a good question. Like what would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
I don't know, because I never thought about it. But I hope I don't have to think about it, but let's not even put it out there yet. Check back in 5 years. Maybe you won't even have to. You'll be like, well, she doesn't have to do anything else.
Or AI will just be doing everything.
Oh, yeah, that's what, yeah. I will be AI. I made a funny post the other day and I was like, that's it. I'm becoming a computer.
Yeah. It does scare me a little bit like in the music industry. Like it does because like I just saw that country artist like
Oh, yeah. Oh, man,
the,
that's
the
shaking.
number one single and he's like what are we doing? Right? Like
they're gonna fight that. They're gonna put some I think they're gonna come to a place where it's like, all right, AI music is cool, and I know it's culty actually. A lot of people like it. But that's AI music, and I think they're gonna, you know how you have like Shazam and you can hear the code
Yeah.
or Bluetooth or whatever. They're gonna have to do something with the AI music so where it's like, okay, that's AI and that's real. Because a lot of people don't know the difference. I actually had my cousin send me a song the other day and was like, "This reminds me of you." And I'm like, can hear that sonically, right? Because I know I've listened to it. I'm like, it's smaller and weird to me right now. I'm sure it'll get unrecognizable later with the technology. But I was like, bro, that's AI. And then I Googled it and I was like, yeah, that's you don't release 400 songs in 2025.
Unless you're crazy.
Right, unless you're AI and you can make one in 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, something that's not crazy was our time spent together. Thank you so much for doing this, Alana. Best of luck. Best of luck on this European tour. Like, it sounds amazing, and I'm rooting for you. So,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doc. That was really fun.
well, I
Time
appreciate
went
that.
by so quick.
Well, I guess what do they say? When you're having fun, right? It goes by quick.
Yep, exactly.
Well, enjoy the weather out in California, and yeah, and hopefully we'll get to see you when you open for Macy Gray in the spring. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
look forward to it. So,
Awesome.
ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands and artists like Alana. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dog. You've been great. This is the Music Lab Podcast.